Hello, my name's Kerstin and I'm going to do a live stream of a yoga class that's for beginners, so people that haven't practiced before, or maybe you have practiced but you want to just take it a little bit slower, not as fast. So people that normally come to my class, for you guys it might be a little bit too slow, but I'm planning on doing another live stream on Monday evening, so that will be a little bit tougher, but I thought I'd just do one. So if people obviously at home a lot now, so they might be looking for things to do on the internet, and I thought that maybe doing a complete beginner's class, taking it quite slowly, might be something quite good for people to do. So I just want to talk a little bit at the beginning. Hopefully you have a mat. If you've got a wooden floor, please make sure you do have a mat, because it would be quite tough to be on your knees on the wooden floor because it's hard underneath you. If you've got a rug, if you don't have a mat, if you've got a rug or a carpet or something, that would be okay. You also maybe want to think about taking your socks off, because it can be quite tricky to get the purchase underneath your feet if you've got socks on. It can be a little bit slippy. And also it's quite nice to feel your toes on the mat and your foot on the mat, and you feel that underneath you. Another thing to think about is also, you obviously won't, or you might not have blocks. So if you have a block, have it close to you. That can be quite good to sit on, or if we do some, you can always use it as a prop for different poses that we're going to go into. If you're sitting on the floor, if you haven't got a block, then you could maybe use a pillow just to prop yourself up, or you can also use a blanket, just fold it up a couple of times so you've got a little bit of a ledge to sit on. And all it does, it just lifts your hips a bit, and then your knees can drop down a bit further. Because when we're sitting cross-legged, we want to be able to sit nice and tall and relax, so not feel that you're bunched up with your knees up. So the higher you lift your hips, then the easier it is to drop the knees down. So if you've got stuff like that lying around your front room, maybe just grab a couple of bits just in case you do need them. I think that's everything really to start with. So the type of yoga that I teach is a Vinyasa flow. There's lots of different types of yoga around, but really essentially you could probably do lots of different yoga and they will all feel familiar, because actually in total there might be, I don't know, 70 odd poses. So, and they will be typically in any class, but they'll just be maybe done a little bit differently, a little bit faster, slower. Emphasis will be maybe on the breath, on the movement, on holding it. So, but essentially it's all quite similar, I would say. The thing with the Vinyasa flow is that we try and connect the breath with the movement. So as we move, we breathe, and then as we breathe, we move, trying to do that simultaneously, which has a nice calming effect on the mind and on the body. So at the beginning, if you are completely new to yoga, I think the breathing is something that you will probably not listen to too much, but I cue the breath throughout. But at the beginning it will be more about the movement, listening to the instructions and how you get into the pose, how you get out of the pose, where you need to be when you're in that pose. But I would just say, try not to worry too much about the different things, but just try and go with it. And if you need to just take a breather, just do. It's not the end of the world. So with that in mind, we're going to start. So we're going to start with sitting up nice and tall. And if you need to prop something underneath your hips, please do. Just to make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. Relax the hands onto your knees, long spine. Allow the knees to relax down. And then we're just going to close the eyes. Just close the eyes for a moment. Come to your breath. Just breathing in nice and slow through the nose. So in our yoga class, we practice breathing in and out through the nose. So if you have a cold, or you've got the sniffles, and you can't breathe in and out through your nose, then obviously breathe in and out through your mouth. Just make it a nice even breath. And just allow the body to sink down into the ground. Feel the mat underneath you. Take your shoulders, take them forward, take them up, and then roll them back. Let them drop down towards the floor, but without sinking down through the spine. You keep lifting the sternum up, nice long straight spine, but relaxing the shoulders. And just another few breaths. We're going to set an intention at the beginning of the class. So an intention is just something that you can work with within the class, or something that you can take with you off the mat throughout the day, through the evening, the weekend, for the week. And you can choose different intentions. Sometimes I set an intention at the beginning of the class, and sometimes I let the students choose their own. As it's a yoga for beginners, I think we'll set one. And a nice simple one to work with is to be kind. So be kind in your practice, be kind to yourself when you practice, be kind to the people around you. And then you can take that be kind into any situation. It doesn't have to be on your mat, it can be off your mat as well. Just sit with that intention for a moment. Think about what that means to you, what it looks like, what being kind can feel like. And then letting that intention go. Coming back to your breath. Focusing on that inhale, letting that breath flow in through the nose. Letting that breath travel all the way down to your belly. And then feel that breath make space inside the body. Feel that breath expand in your belly, into your side, into your rib cage. And then let that breath come out fully. And then you can have maybe tiny little pause just as you breathe in before you start exhaling. And just slowing that breath down. Think about it being a slow and even breath. And then try and maintain that breath as we practice. Then open the eyes. Take the hands either side of your hips, and we're going to do just a little bit of flow and with the breath. Take an inhale, lift the arms up. And then as you exhale, you're going to twist right, drop the right hand behind, left hand in front, touch down onto the floor. Inhale, lift back to centre. And then exhale, twist to the left. We're going to do that another couple of times. Inhale, lift. Hands up, you can lift the gaze if you want. Exhale, other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And again, lift up. So feel like you're lifting energy and dropping it down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. And again, inhale, lift up. You're going to exhale, twist, and this time you're going to hold it there. Take your left hand behind your right knee, keep sitting up nice and tall, and then twist round to take the gaze over your right shoulder. Relax the knees, long spine, and coming back to your breath. Feel that breath moving in, expanding to your belly, and then moving out. So just noticing how it flows differently when you're in the twist. Inhale, lift the hands up, centre. Exhale, drop the hands either side. Inhale, and then as you exhale, walk the hands out in front, upper body drops down, soften the upper body down. So it doesn't matter if you're up here, if you're all the way down there. Just let go of the tension, allow the shoulders to drop down, and just softening into the front of that space. Hold it there. Inhale, walk the hands back towards you, sit up nice and tall, and then just switch the legs around. Take the other shin in front, and then sit up nice and tall, hands either side of your hips. Inhale, lift the hands up. You're going to exhale, twist left. So hands touch down in front and behind. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, other side. Nice and slow with your breath. Breathing in, pause, breathing out. Breathe in, lift, breathe out. And again, breathe in, nice and slow, and breathing out. Breathe in, lift. And then breathe in, breathe out, twist, hold it there. Take your left hand behind your right knee, sorry, I'm getting left and right mixed up. Hand behind, lift, and then twist, take your gaze over your left shoulder. Relax the knees, sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale, as you exhale, come back to centre. Inhale, lift. As you exhale, walk the hands out in front, upper body drops back down. Hold it there. So just soften, don't worry about if you're rounding through the back. Relax the shoulders down, drop them. That's it. So you can almost see like people holding it and then soften, let it go, drop down. Inhale, walk the hands back to your shins, lift up, and then you're going to roll over onto all fours. So we're just going to go sideways on our mat. I'm doing a little turn. We're going to come into a cat and cow position. So the hands are underneath your, spreading the fingers, hands pressed down into the mat, the wrists are underneath your shoulders, and they're shoulder width apart. The knees are hip width apart, and the toes are lengthening to the back of the mat. You're going to inhale, take the tailbone up, drop the belly down, lift your gaze. Exhale, round to the back, drop the tailbone down, push into the hands and the belly comes up really high. Inhale, come forward, lift up, exhale, round. So you moving through the spine. Inhale, lift up, belly drops down, tailbone up, exhale, round to the back, push into the hands, lift. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. And as you round, drop the head down nice and heavy, take the gaze through to your feet. Inhale, forward, lift up. Exhale, round. So do this in your own time with your own breath. So we don't all breathe exactly at the same time. So just do it with your breath, so however long it takes, so you might be a little bit quicker or a little bit slower. You're going to exhale round through the spine one more time, and on the next inhale, come to neutral spine. We're going to take it back to child's pose. So sit back to your heels as much as you can. So if you're a little bit further up, it doesn't matter, but try and sink that bottom back, stretch the arms out in front, upper body drops down, forehead onto the mat. And just like before, think about softening into that front. Relax the shoulders and come back to breathing. Feel that breath. Fill into your belly and pressing that belly down into your thighs. So it's a big breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're making space and the body can drop down a little bit further as the breath comes out, sinking into the floor. On the next inhale, lift, come up onto all fours. You're going to step it forward with your right foot. We're doing it opposite. I know. So you step forward with your right foot and take an inhale. You're going to lift up into a low lunge, and you're going to exhale, bring your arms out in front. Inhale, you're going to stretch across the front of the chest, fingertips to fingertips. Exhale, center. Inhale, open up. Exhale, center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. You're going to inhale, lift up to the sky. And then exhale, drop it down to the mat, hands either side of the front foot. You're going to lengthen through that right leg, lift the toes up. Hands can be either side of that shin. You can walk them back a little bit if you want to. Take your gaze to your big toe. Come back to breathing. Breathing in, into your belly. Breathing out. Always aiming for about 3 to 5 breaths. Inhale, come forward, hands either side of that front foot. Exhale, take the knee back underneath you. Inhale, step it forward with your left foot. Right foot, other side. Inhale, lift up to the sky. Exhale, drop the arms in front, center. Inhale, open up, long stretch. Exhale, nice and slow, breathing in, big breath. Let that belly expand as you're breathing in, all the way out. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, center. Inhale, lift it up to the sky. Exhale, drop the hands down either side of that front foot. Inhale, lengthen through that left leg. Hold it there. You can lift that front foot, take the gaze to your big toe. Inhale, come forward, plant the hands to the front, take that knee back underneath you. Exhale. Take an inhale, and this time you're going to take the knees a little bit wider, come back to child's pose. Sit back to your heels like you did earlier. This time you have a little bit of space in between the knees to allow the upper body to drop down. Stretch the arms out in front and then sink down into that space. Forehead down. Nice big breath into your belly. So now your belly has more room to expand because you've got your knees wide. And just enjoy that movement of your belly expanding. And then breathing out, sink your bottom down into your heels. On the next inhale, lift your gaze, walk the hands back towards you, come back up onto all fours, bring the knees back towards each other. Hip width apart, hands underneath you. We're going to come into downward dog. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. And then lengthen through that spine. Lift the heels and then slowly soften them down. So they might come all the way down like Yana's, or they might not like mine. So if you're tight in the hamstrings, or you've not done downward dog before, it doesn't really, think about lengthening through your spine. So you're pushing into the hands, lifting the hips up, and then keep bringing your chest back towards your thigh. If your heels then don't drop all the way down, that's fine. Have a little bend in the knees, that's totally okay. Hold it there. And then on the next inhale, you're going to start walking the hands towards you, bend into the knees and into a forward fold. Allow the spine to hang long, head is heavy, fingertips drop down to the mat and hold it there. So if you're like Yana and you have hypermobile knees, think about not locking them out. Draw them back in a little bit. And then hopefully that means she has to work a little bit harder on her hamstrings. Right? Inhale, engage your core and slowly start rolling up. And coming all the way up to standing. Okay. So, do we want to turn the mats, coming towards the front of the mat? We're going to have a go at doing it sideways and see how we go. It's the first time I've done this on video, so it's just a bit trial and error. Standing nice and tall towards the front of the mat in Tadasana. You're going to draw your belly button back to your spine and just draw that tailbone underneath you. Shoulders relax, fingertips drop down to the earth, and then just lift the toes, spread them, and then drop them back down. And then rock a little bit forward onto the balls of your feet, and then drop the heels into the floor. We're going to do a half sun salute a few times, and then we're going to go into a full sun salute A. We're going to inhale, lift the hands up, lift your gaze. Exhale, forward fold. So you're going to long spine, drop it all the way down. Head is nice and heavy as it drops. You can bend into the knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway up. So halfway up can be on your fingertips on the mat or hands to the shin, but you want to have a nice flat spine and look up. Then as you exhale all the way back down, hands down to the floor. Inhale, use your core to lift you up, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Head nice and heavy. Inhale, up halfway, hands to shins or fingertips in front, but look up. Exhale, fold forward, drop the head down, long spine. Inhale, use your core. Lift it up to the sky, lift your gaze one more time. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Drop the head, long spine. Inhale, up halfway, fingertips or hands to shins, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift it up to the sky. Exhale, back to Tadasana, hands to the side. I'm going to do a full sun salute A, where we're going to step into a plank. You're going to inhale, lift the hands up, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up halfway, look up. Exhale, step it back to plank, right foot, left foot. And then if you're a complete beginner, just drop the knees, the hips, the chest, all the way down to the floor. Inhale, press the hands down into the mat, lift your heart, keep the hips on the mat. Exhale, tuck the toes under, hips go back, and then all the way up, downward dog, hold it there. So think about nice long spine. So feet are hip width apart, a little bit closer together. Leave the hands where they are. So you want to think about flat spine, so you can see nice long neck all the way up. And then leaving the hands where they are, the hips always come a little bit further back. So there's not much to further come back for her, but for most of us there probably is. On the next inhale, you're going to soften the knees, lift your gaze, step it forward, right foot, left foot. Look up halfway, fingertips to the mat or hands to the shin, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up, lift your gaze. Exhale, Tadasana. Hands to the side. Inhale, lift it up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Head drops down, long spine. Inhale, come up halfway, look up. Exhale, step it back, left foot, right foot. Lowering all the way down, either knees, hips and chest. Elbows go back as you come down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, press the hands into the floor, lift your heart. Exhale, tuck the toes. Feet goes up and back, downward dog, hold it there. 3 to 5 breaths. So think about breathing all the way down into your belly. So even though you're inverted, the breath still travels down into your belly. As you're breathing out, think about that breath flowing down into your heels, softening down towards the mat. On the next inhale, soften the knees, lift the gaze, step it forward, left foot, right foot. Coming up halfway, fingertips to mat or hands to shin, look up. Exhale, forward fold, long spine. Inhale, lift it up to the sky. Exhale, hands to Tadasana. Inhale, lift up, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, look up. Exhale, step it back, right foot, left foot. And if you are a little bit stronger, you can lower in a plank position. Our elbows go back, touch down. Inhale, lift it into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the seat up and back. Downward dog, hold it there. You can walk the feet in a little bit if you need to. Soften the heels down, head is relaxed. So sometimes the direction is to look up to your navel. I find that quite strong, so I prefer to take the gaze through to the feet and soften the heels. On the next inhale, soften the knees, lift the gaze, step it forward, right foot, left foot. Come up halfway, look up. Exhale, fold forward, head drops down. Inhale, lift it up to the sky. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Going to inhale, step it back with the right foot, coming into Warrior Two. So it's a nice wide stance. The heel of the front foot should be in line with the arch of the back foot. Both legs straight to start. Take an inhale, both hands up, palms down, and then exhale, bend into that front knee. Hold it there. And the gaze is over the middle finger of the front hand. So you're thinking about dropping the weight of the outer edge of the foot, or the back foot, into the mat, lifting the inner arch on the inside. Make sure that the knee is above the ankle. That's fine, that was fine. Relax the shoulders, but keeping engaged with the arms. Perfect. Let's squeeze down. Take an inhale, straighten through that front leg. Going to exhale, reach forward. So hips go back and then hands to that front shin. Reach the other fingertips up to the sky. Then you can use that bottom hand as a little bit of a leverage. Lift and rotate the rib cage up. So you're not coming forward like this, you're lifting. So top shoulder stacked on top of the bottom shoulder. Take the gaze up. If that's too hard on your neck, it's too difficult, you can look forward and you can look down. But traditionally, gaze goes up. hold it there. So you're not collapsing and just going, holding there. That's not the point. So if you are that flexible that your hand can actually reach down that far, take the hand to the inside of that front foot. If you're here, take the hand to the outside so you're not holding it there so you can rest. Use your core to stay in position. Perfect. You're going to take an inhale as you breathe out, take the gaze down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bend back into that front knee. And then take your forearm to your thigh and then the other arm sweeps up and over. Fingertips reach to the front. And just like we did now, lift and rotate. Heart up towards the ceiling. Lift your gaze up. Hold it there. Hold it there. Do not collapse to the front. So if you move that elbow away, you're using your core to stay there. So you're not collapsing, you're not leaning, it's just a balance. Or if you want to, you can take the hand to the inside of that front leg. There you go. Take an inhale, come all the way up. Straighten through that front leg, hands to the waist as you exhale, toes in, heels out. Take an inhale, lift. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands down to the mat, drop the head down, long spine. Take an inhale onto your fingertips, lift, look up. And then as you exhale, upper body drops down into that space. Hands down to the floor. If that's too far for you to go, stay on your fingertips. If the hands are down, walk them back into between the feet with the elbows going through to the back. That's it, lovely. So try not to lock out your knees. That's it. Take an inhale onto your fingertips. Exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, step it to the front of the mat. So we would step back on the other side, but we're going to have our back to you. So we're going to come to this side and step back with the right. Is that right? Yeah. Nice wide stance so that the front leg, the heel is in line with the arch of that back leg. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, bend into that front knee, warrior two. So we're doing everything on the other side. So at the first round you step back on your right foot. So if you're on your mat, this time you would step back on your left foot. So we're doing those 4 poses on the other side. Take a nice inhale as you breathe out, relax the shoulders, reach into your fingertips. Spine nice and long. Inhale, straighten to that front leg. Exhale, reach forward, hips back, and then drop that hand to the shin, sweep the other arm up, and then lift and rotate. Rib cage up, heart up towards the sky, and then take the gaze up to your hand. If the hand goes down, that's fine. It's not easy to correct her because she does a lot of it quite good actually. I think she should do.
I don't do yoga.
She should do more of it. Take an inhale, look up, and as you exhale, look down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Take the forearm to your thigh. Sweep the other arm up and over. Reach the fingertips the other side. So that top arm brushes along your ear. Same action, lift and rotate the heart up towards the ceiling. And again, you're not collapsing into that front leg. Hand to the inside of the front foot. If you have it here, make sure you still use your core to stay there. You're not using your arm to lean into. Take an inhale. As you breathe out, head down. Inhale, come all the way up, straighten through both arms. Exhale, take the toes in, heels out, hands to the waist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, fold forward, long spine, head drops down. Hold it there. So this time the hands stay on the waist. But try and relax the upper body down. So head drops down, that's it, much better. So no effort through the upper body. So for a lot of us that won't look quite that... No, you're staying there.
Yep, I was trying to show where mine
That's all, I'll do it and they can see. So you can see I'm not quite as far down as Yana, so you may be here a little bit or you might be a little bit further down. The point is really to lengthen through the spine, allow the head to drop down. And you can feel maybe where, so instead of rounding through the back and trying to get down there, you're extending through your spine and that forward fold comes from your hips. Take an inhale, come all the way up, and then exhale, step it back to the front of the mat. We're going to turn sideways. You're going to take the feet hip width apart. You're going to inhale, bend into the knees, lift the hands up into high chair position, lift your gaze. So make sure you can see your toes. So you can see, I can't see her toes, so you have to take the seat back a little bit. That's it. And then lift your gaze up. So you can interlace the fingers, first finger draws up, or if you feel then that you are scrunching your shoulders up, relax the shoulders and you can just face the palms of your hands instead. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend further into the knees, bring your arms out in front. So you want to sit all the way down, thighs parallel to the floor, look forward. And sometimes you can start lifting your toes because your weight's not in the right place, but then bring the weight forward a little bit. Make sure that all four corners of the feet are dropping down into the mat. Hold it there. Take an inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Long spine, head drops down. Take the first two fingers and to the inside of the big toe, thumb to the outside, elbows out to the side. Inhale, look up. And then as you exhale, upper body drops down, long spine, elbows out to the side, and then start lengthening through the back of the legs. So you can slowly, slowly straighten them out. Again, hypermobile, don't lock the knees out. Inhale onto your fingertips. Exhale, hands to your waist. Inhale, come all the way up. And we're going to come back to Tadasana, hands to the side, bringing the feet together. Belly button draws back to your spine, standing nice and tall. So we're going to come into tree position, which is quite a typical yoga position that many of you know. So we'll have to do that one really. So we're going to shift our weight into our right foot. And make sure that that right leg is switched on, so that muscle above the knee starts working. Just find your balance. Fix your gaze on something in front of, just a little bit further away from you, in front of you. And then nice and steady breath. Inhale, lift your knee up into your chest and just stay there for a moment and find your balance. Then once you're balancing okay, take an inhale. As you exhale, take that knee out to the side and then draw that foot to the top, either here. If that's too difficult, drop it down to your calf, or you can also drop the foot all the way down to the floor, toes down, and then rest that heel against your calf. Hands to namaste, and just gently pushing that those thumbs back into your chest. Hold it there. So here, think about pulling your belly button back to your spine and drawing that tailbone underneath you. If you're like that, you're going to start wobbling. If you're like that, that doesn't feel nice. So nice and tall, steady breath, steady gaze. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, out to the side, draw the hands down. Inhale, collect that knee, lift it back up towards you. Exhale, back to Tadasana. Feet together, stand nice and tall. And then shift your weight into the other foot. Switch that leg on. Steady gaze, so find something to fix your gaze on. Nice steady breath. Inhale, lift that knee up into the chest. Hold it there. Just find your balance. Take an inhale. As you exhale, knee out to the side. And then again, draw that foot to the top, calf, or drop that foot down to the floor. Rest that heel. You can also lean against or just have a wall next to you. That can work as well. As long as you're balancing, that's fine. Hands to namaste, thumbs back to the chest. Take an inhale, lift the hands up. Exhale, sweep the hands out to the side. Inhale, knee into the chest. Exhale, drop that foot down, back to Tadasana. We're going to do a little Vinyasa to seat it. So coming back towards the front of the mat, bringing the feet together, standing nice and tall, Tadasana. Inhale, lift the hands up, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold forward, long spine. Drop the head down. Inhale, halfway up, fingertips or hands to shin. Exhale, step it back, right foot, left foot, plank. Lowering knees, hips and chest, or in a plank. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, press the hands down into the mat, into Cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, seat, back and up, downward dog. On the next inhale, you're going to take one shin to the mat in front of you, take the other one behind, and then sit back. Looks more complicated than it is, or just find your way to a seated position. Stretch the legs out in front, and then sit up nice and tall into Dandasana. So hands either side of your hips as a little bit of support, but not really leaning into them. Not rounding to the back, you're going to lift up, shoulders back, and then nice and tall. Toes are flexed, feet are flexed, toes are drawing back towards you, and you should maybe have a little lift of the heel off the floor. So you're working them, so they're not just hanging out, you lift, and there's engagement in both legs. Gaze to your big toes, spread the toes if you can. Yana has monkey toes, so she can spread them loads. I don't, I'm jealous. Keep lifting. Take an inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. So hands come maybe to the shin, or like Yana, feet and toes keep drawing back, and you can either take the first two fingers to the big toe, or take the hands to the outside of the feet. And then take your gaze to your big toes. And again, it's about having a nice flat, see? As soon as I move over there, she's like, oh, I better correct it. So before, do what you did before, we were rounding. So we don't want that. We want to come forward with an extended, long spine. So it might mean that you have to come up a little bit, and you're sitting up a little bit higher, but it's much better for you. So not rounding, you're extending, extend, and then you come forward. So the forward fold is coming from here, it's not coming from your back. That stays nice and long. Take an inhale, come all the way up. Bend both knees, bring the feet quite close towards you. We're going to come into tabletop. Hands come down to the mat, fingers point forward, walk the hands back and behind you. And you're going to inhale, you're going to lift the bottom off the floor. You're going to exhale, drop the head back, hold it there. I'm going to stop talking so much now. Sometimes it can just be nice being in a pose, listening to your breath. Take an inhale. As you exhale, drop the bottom back to the floor, sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale, and then breathe it out. We're going to come into boat. We're going to inhale. So boat, there's different variations of boat depending on how hard you want to work or what's accessible for you. Hands behind the knees. First option is to have the toes on the floor but lift the heels off. Second option is to have the shins parallel, still holding. Third option is to have the arms extended. And then the fourth option is to extend both legs. So choose your option. Jana's going to go with option D, I think we've got two. I'm going to stay with option C. Now you can extend. Hold it. Gaze to your big toes. Also, you can always change what you're doing. Never stick with something that doesn't feel good. If you start there and you think, oh no, too much, bring it to here. Even if you're there, if you need to, hold it. Adjust it to what feels all right for you. Take an inhale. As you exhale, cross the shins. Grab hold of the feet, draw them in, and then drop them down to the mat. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, hands either side of your hips. Take a breath out. Going to inhale, lift the hands up to the sky, lift your gaze, and you're going to exhale, twist to the right. Drop the fingertips down in front and behind like we did earlier. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, drop the hands either side of the waist. You're going to extend the right leg out in front, bend the left knee. Should we just come around this way? Sorry guys, still learning. Bend that left knee, draw that top of the foot towards the top of the inside of your thigh, and then the other leg is extended. Take an inhale. As you exhale, fold forward, and hands again drop either to the shin or the outside of that foot. So if you're like Yana, you're quite mobile. If you are coming quite, you can grab hold of the wrist? Yeah. So you can do it like this if you want to, but it's also okay just to hold either side of the foot. It's also okay to have the hands on the shin. So we'll talk about straps next time. You might not have a yoga strap, but we can maybe find something else. I think Annie suggested earlier, maybe your dressing gown, what you tie your dressing gown up with, or maybe you have like an elastic band that you might have used before. You can use that as well. You're going to inhale, come up, and then exhale. You're going to just take a twist round to your left. Keep that right foot extended. Switching that right knee on. And try not to lean back into that back hand, but you're using your core to sit up tall. Perfect. Relax that left knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come back to centre. Inhale, stretch the other leg out, bend the opposite knee, place the sole of that foot towards the top thigh. Take an inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Again, hand to shin or to the foot. And actually the same as before. That's it, much better. So actually, as you're flattening, you're straightening, coming forward with a long spine. So now she has to lift her head a little bit. And that's what happens. It tends to happen a lot in classes. You see everybody reaching forward and they just collapse down and they're just like here. But actually, that's why we have the gaze, and that we fix our gaze on certain body parts or somewhere in front. And looking at your toe, it encourages you to come forward long, then rather when you're looking down and you're just going to collapse. So we want to do that. Reach forward, extend to the spine. Take an inhale, lift, and then exhale, twist round to the side, hand behind your knee, fingertips behind, draw that toes up, draw those toes up, engage that leg, and then relax that right knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come back to centre. Bring the knees back together, and then coming back into that boat position that we just did. So choose the option that you want to work with. Hands behind knees, shin parallel, let go, or extend through both legs. Gaze to your big toes. And you're going to lift here, lift up through the chest. Breathing in, long breath out. On the next inhale, cross the shins, draw the feet in, drop them down. Sit up nice and tall as you breathe in. Exhale, hands either side of your hips. Inhale, lift the hands up, lift your gaze. And you're going to exhale, twist round to the right. Drop the fingertips down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist other side. Inhale, lift up. exhale, hands either side of your hips. You're going to just separate your feet a little bit and then bring the soles of the feet together, wrap the hands around the toes, relax the knees down, and then just shuffle your bottom a little bit forward towards your heels. Take an inhale, long spine, and as you exhale, drop the chin down. Nothing else, just the chin, not collapsing. You keep staying lifted and the chin down. Gaze either to your big toes or you can close the eyes. It can be quite nice to do that as well. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, slide the feet out in front. Take the elbows in front of the shins. Inhale, look up. And then as you exhale, round to the spine, allow the head to drop into that space in front of you. And this time you're allowed to round to the back. You don't have to extend, no reaching forward, just rounding, rounding, rounding all the way down. And then inhale, lift up. Take the hands underneath the knees, bring the knees together. And we're going to just swivel round onto our mat. So hopefully you're already on the mat the right way. You're going to roll down onto your back. Bring the feet close to you. We're going to come into bridge. We're going to flow up and down in bridge, and then we're going to hold it. So the feet have got to be quite close to your bottom, and they've got to be hip width apart. So not out to the side, not close together, hip width. Arms down. Palms down alongside the body. You're going to inhale, start lifting the hips up. And then as you exhale, you're slowly going to roll down, upper, middle, lower back. Drop the hips back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. You're going to inhale, lift, and you're going to hold it there this time. And you can stay there, or you can take and interlace your hands, and you can shuffle a little bit higher up onto your shoulders, and keep pressing down into the feet. So make sure toes are down, heels are down, lift the hips up. And it's quite nice to close your eyes here, and breathing in through the front of the body. Take an inhale. As you exhale, take the arms out to the side, lift it underneath, slowly roll it down. Take an inhale, and then we're going to exhale. I'm just going to take the knees over to the side. And then inhale, centre, and then exhale other side. And just do that a couple of times, just to release the lower back. See if you can connect this movement still with the breath. So inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, over the other side. You're going to inhale, lift to centre, hold it there. Take both knees into the chest, little squeeze in. Keeping the right knee squeezed in, extend that left leg along the floor. Right arm out, shoulder height, palm facing up. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to draw that knee over to the left. Keep the right shoulder down, and then take the gaze to the palm of your right hand. Yeah. So normally your leg wouldn't be on the sofa, it's just she has really long legs. But normally the leg would be down, okay? And then I think most of us, our knee will probably be about there, but it is about keep trying to drop it down. You breathe in as you breathe out. Just allow the weight of that leg to keep coming down towards the floor. You're going to inhale back to centre, and we're going to switch it around. So take the left knee into and then extend the right leg, left arm out, shoulder height, palm facing up, other hand is on your knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, drop that knee over to your right. Keep the left shoulder down, and then turn your head towards your left hand. Or close the eyes, it can be nice either way. So the important thing is to have both shoulders dropping down and the twist is in your waist. And keep in mind, your extended legs should be on the floor. Inhale back to centre. Take both knees into the chest. It will rock from side to side. And then taking the hands behind the knees, it will do a little rock up to seated. You're just going to come and face forward. You're going to take the arms behind. You can either do prayer position where you bring the palms together or reach for opposite elbows, which is probably most accessible for most of us. Take an inhale lift. As you exhale, that was my hip cracking. Exhale, fold forward. Head down. Again, you're thinking about extending through the spine, not rounding, which is why we take the arms behind. Because if we didn't have the arms behind, it's much more easy to round, like we did right at the beginning. So this is about extending through the spine and then coming forward. So you take the gaze, maybe the head a little bit lifted, gaze out in front. And then working with that breath. Take a breath in, into your belly, and then as you breathe out, belly comes back. Just notice the upper body dropping forward. Maybe just a bit fraction, but just feel that movement. And then inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, let go of the elbows, bring the hands out in front and just a couple of shoulder rolls forward, take it back, drop it down. And then go the other way. Okay, so we're going to come into a little bit of meditation and then relaxation. So if you want to put something warm on, because you can get cold quite quickly lying on the floor, not moving, do that now. And then once you're ready, come back to a sitting position. Like I said right at the beginning, if you need a block, a blanket, a cushion, just prop it underneath you. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes, so you want to make it comfortable. If it's not comfortable, it's difficult to stay in the same position. We're going to rest the front of the arms onto the knees and then connecting forefinger and thumb. Extend those arms through, sit up nice and tall and then close the eyes. And just for a moment, breathe in and out through the nose. And then we're just going to bring our mind back to the intention that we set right at the beginning of the class. And that intention was to be kind. And just maybe sit with that for a moment and see if that is what happened in that practice for you. Were you kind to yourself? Did you allow yourself to adjust the pose or, take it back a notch if you wanted to? To give yourself permission is to really be kind to yourself. And also, once you start being kind to yourself, it's much easier to be also kind to other people around you. And then let that intention go. And then come back to your breath. And just notice that breath. Feel that breath entering through the nose. And then notice that breath dropping down to your belly. And just feel that movement that your body is making with that breath. Feel the body expand, feel the belly expand as it breathes in. And then notice and feel that belly coming back together again as you're breathing out. And see if you can keep your attention on that breath And just walk with that breath as it moves in and out through your body. Watching it, observing it, not changing it, allowing it to flow nice and easy. And if your mind wants to wander, just gently draw it back, escort it back to your breath. And then let go of that breath. And see if you can keep the eyes closed if possible and really move with as little disturbance as possible. Slowly into Savasana. So slowly coming round onto our back, dropping all the way down. You can extend both legs. If it feels really uncomfortable and you've got a tight lower back, you can bend the knees, drop the knees in towards each other, take the feet to the edges of the mat. That can be quite nice. But if it's okay, stretch the legs out. And as I can't come and adjust, I will do a self-adjust while we're here. Taking the hands, palms up, take them to the base of your neck, so the bottom of your skull, and then lift the head up as you slide the hands all the way up, and then slowly drop the head back onto the floor. So hopefully it feels that you've had a bit of lengthening through the back of that neck. If you've got a ponytail, just slide that elastic band out with it a little bit. You don't want to rest the head on the elastic band, just move it. And then take the arms back out to the side, a little bit away from the body, palms facing up. Allow the shoulders to relax. And then I want you to lift your left heel off the floor just a fraction, stretch the heel away, and then drop that leg down. And then do the same on the other side. Lift that leg, stretch the heel away, toes towards you, and then drop it down. And then completely relax. Relax from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Closing the eyes if you haven't done so already. Letting everything go. The intention that we set, the breath, the practice, the poses. Just allow yourself to rest, allow your body to rest. Give yourself permission to be kind. And just to enjoy doing nothing for a few moments. Taking your attention to your feet, your toes, the soles of your feet, the top of your feet, your ankles. Let them relax. Taking your attention to your shins, your calves, your knees, your thighs. Allow them to soften. Maybe just noticing the contact points between your legs and your heels and the floor. Allow the hips to be heavy. Just noticing your bottom where it touches the mat. And moving along the spine, allowing the shoulders to be heavy. You literally just want to drop down. Spine, feel the contact points of the spine to the floor. And then feel the softness in your belly, so that gentle breath. Just gently lifting that belly button up as you breathe in. Just notice it dropping back down as you breathe out. Noticing the back of the head resting on the floor. Feeling the length through that neck. And then relaxing that last bit of the body, the face. The cheekbones. Release the tension from the cheekbones, the jawline. Allow the lips to be soft. So maybe the mouth is open a little bit. Maybe the tongue is just resting on the roof of your mouth. And it's smoothing that forehead. Just relax. Smoothing that bit in between the eyebrows. Letting go a little bit more each time you breathe out. Feel that body drop down, feel the weight of that body sinking into the floor. And then we're slowly going to start coming back out of this Savasana. We're going to slowly move the fingers, give them a wiggle. And wiggle the toes. And then a really nice way to wake up the body even more is to take a big breath in and then a big breath out. So we're going to breathe into the nose, big breath into the belly. And then a big breath out through the mouth. Deep breath into the nose. Big breath out. Deep breath in. Big breath out. On the next inhale, take the feet together, take the arms up behind you, long stretch. Fingertips down to your toes, and then as you breathe out, bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug, and then it will rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, keep the knees tucked in, keep the eyes closed, roll it all the way over to your right side. Now the knees to drop down. Move the shoulder underneath you to where it feels comfortable. And then when you're ready, placing that left hand onto the floor, just push yourself back up to seated, nice and slowly. And then find a cross-leg position. If you can, if you feel more comfortable, stretch the legs out in front, or keep them crossed. Take the hands to namaste, pushing the thumbs back to the chest. So we're pushing the thumbs into the chest because we're going to close the practice with 3 rounds of Om. And hopefully as you are joining into the Om, you don't have to, don't feel you have to. You only ever do what you want to, or what you feel that you can do in yoga. You're going to close the practice with Omming, and then hopefully as you do Om, if you feel like joining, you feel the vibration of the Om. You can feel it through your hands. So taking an inhale. And wishing you peace in your thoughts, in your words, your actions, your heart. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. So thanks for joining. It's great. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me feedback. I need lots of feedback. It's the first time I've ever gone live on something like this. I'm not very good on technical things, but good feedback, bad feedback, neutral feedback, it all will be very welcome. Thank you very much. Namaste.